Hi guys, how's it going? In this video, we're going to take a look at Nigel Farage's recent interview. By the way, on the very same channel he presents on 4 evenings per week, which, let's face it, tells a whole kind of story that does not bode well for those left employed in that station. But however, for those of you out there that may not have viewed many of the videos on this channel, I strongly advise that you either, for this one guys, all of you, plug in your headsets or safely isolate children from this, because this is not going to be pretty, okay? I also ask that when you share this video with your groups, with your friends on WhatsApp or Facebook, Twitter, whatever, after you've subscribed and the button and all that, that there are no children in that group. So, let's go. Now, recently, the numpty Farage was being interviewed by his own colleagues about his feelings in how Brexit was going. Now, to be straight here, I have edited this video, but I have not in any way changed the narrative, nor have I not altered in any way the context. So let's take a listen to what he has to say.
Where do you think we're at?
So the big picture is the war is over. Thank goodness for that. It's done. You know, we've left. There is no going back. There's now a large, settled majority behind Brexit. And literally every day I meet people who say, I voted Remain, but because of the way they've behaved ever since, I would now, if there was another referendum, vote to leave. So we're about 70% now that say it was the right thing to do. So the big picture is we're out, it's great, we're now an independent country.
Right. So let's get on this one straight away. And I really hope that people do share this video so that Nigel might come across it and get to see it. Because what I'm about to say is going to be cute. Nigel, you're a liar, you're a cheat, and you're full of shit. There isn't a single survey by even your own Brexit-friendly mainstream media assholes that supports a figure of 70%. But let me give you and all your followers real data from real surveys who do not talk shit like you do. The polls you are seeing on your screen right now are fully independent and are being carried out with the correct sampling procedures to ensure they reflect reality, unlike your own twisted bleeding mind, Nigel. So Nigel, you lying git, why is it the Express, the Mail, the Sun, the Telegraph have not published your claim of 70%? I'll tell you why, Nigel, because they can spin a story faster than an Olympic ice skating gold medalist. Even they know you're talking crap, that they wouldn't even dare print it because they know very well they'll be made look like fools very quickly. So let's take a listen again to what Nigel has to say.
Which means we now have the right to mismanage our own future.
Right, hold on for a second here, Nigel. We have the right to mismanage our own future. Ha, 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 ha. Who the hell do you think you are? There is no allowing mismanagement, whether it's from Europe or whether it's from the House of Commons. Mismanaging our own future because of the bullshit of Brexit and the bullshit of this government that you supported when at the last election you did a cozy deal with Boris is not funny. It's not acceptable. It has led to this government recording more deaths than almost any other Western nation, and is still managing to maintain its place on that most tragic of podiums of despair. More people have died in this country from COVID than died in the Battle of the Somme. And you dickhead, you think this is some way funny? People losing their jobs? People not having enough money, worried where they're going to get the money for a turkey? Heat, cost of energy going up through the roof? You think this can be funny? Dumpty. Okay, let's hear what else he has to say.
I never pretended for 25 years that just because we left the European Union, everything would be solved, our problems would be over. What I said was, we would be the masters of our own destiny.
Okay, wait a minute. We'll be masters of our own destiny. Really? That's what you thought? You liar. What you actually said was, and I'm quoting your words, I have absolutely no idea what will happen if the UK leaves the European Union. That's what you said, Nigel. That was what you told the reporters when he asked you what will happen basically to the UK. But he wanted to know more about specifics, which you were never good at giving. But yet at the time, you still had the audacity to contradict the opinion of the biggest and the brightest and most experienced trade negotiation specialists in either the UK or in Europe, that you knew more about the EU negotiations than the very people that were sat at those tables across multiple trade deals with multiple nations are saying to Pascal Lamy that he doesn't really understand it, former head of the WTO. Your cavalier approach to the damage that you, Mr. Brexit, as the great orange one refers to you as, is sickening. It isn't funny unless you're a numpty. We have empty shelves, lack of medicines. Our industry is being crucified. We're losing more than 5,000 lawyers from London, and you think this is funny? What a complete knob end you are. But, you know, guys, let's listen to some more of this.
Well, it's
So
interesting.
that's the big picture, Alex. You know, that's the big picture. Now, if you want to get down to detail, the problem is the Brexit deal was always a dreadful deal. You know, Mrs. May's surrender package that she came back to Chequers with, that saw the resignation of David Davis, the Brexit secretary. Then, after he'd found out which way the wind was blowing, Boris resigned too. And what we got was another Brexit deal, but it wasn't. It was different, and it was better than the first deal. And if I was being kind to Boris, I'd say, look, he was given a very bad hand of cards by Mrs. May.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm sick to the back teeth of being subjected to this garbage for the last 2 years. You see, Nigel, you said yourself, that the UK will have to compromise. But in general terms, you supported it. Nothing has changed since you said that in that agreement. You sat in Parliament, in the EU Parliament, for 20 years. You knew exactly how the EU dealt with third countries, but you deliberately chose not to tell your voters. Now, that could be because you never cast a single vote in your entire MEP career, and instead just sat there and made funny statements. Okay, that's all you did. Did you seriously think that the needs of the few were going to outweigh the needs of the many? Did you seriously think that was going to happen? You, in your royal speech on your own YouTube channel, told viewers in March, I think it was, that you were stepping back from UK politics because Brexit was done. A deal has been reached, and you told those supporting numpties another lie. You told them that you would be concentrating your efforts on China and the environment, and you lied your ass off, because no sooner had you said it, but what you actually did was get your backside over to the States to help Trump win an election. And despite him losing the election, that was fair and square. You continue to fan the flames of conspiracy, not because you gave a shit about the American people, but because you could see a nice earner for yourself. But you were loyal to the orange one. Now, that was going to be your ticket. But how loyal were you to the British people? Donald Trump was your buddy. How did the trade negotiations with the US go, Nigel? Why did you not tell the British people that you knew that there wasn't a single chance in hell of any trade deal of any description happening with the US within any reasonable time frame? Why didn't you say something? No, you didn't. You kept that to yourself, even though you knew it to be true. Anyway, let's listen to some more of his crap.
So in the end, the price that was really paid was Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland is now effectively a foreign country. It's been annexed away from the UK.
Right, well, now on this one you have a point. Northern Ireland is in some ways annexed, but only economically. However, Nigel, you numpty, it was you and your buddy Hoey were the ones that caused it. The people in Northern Ireland didn't want to be annexed from the rest of Europe. You annexed them from the rest of Europe. You didn't give a shit about them when they were being screwed over by you and your Brexiteer numpties. So why in the hell should they give a shit what you say? Why do go along with the DUP that threw the majority of the people of Northern Ireland under the Brexit bus You seem to think that's okay. Oh, well, you know, we did our best. You tried to isolate their freedom. You tried to isolate their prosperity, only to serve yours and their DUP's political ambitions. That's all that's happened. So let's move on a bit more.
We've got no sensible agreement with the French on returning illegal migrants across the Channel. So are there downsides to the Brexit deal? Yes, there are. Is there unfinished business, particularly in the case of Northern Ireland? Yes, there is. But against that, what I would say is we're already beginning to see the government, Oliver Dowden, for example, the Culture Secretary, over the weekend saying we're going to amend the messy GDPR regulation.
Right, sure, Nigel. What unfinished business? You saw the withdrawal agreement. You supported the withdrawal agreement. You understood the dispute mechanisms. Yet you sit there with a smug smirk on your face and go on to mention Dowden's GDPR bullshit. Let's get this crystal clear for you and your numpties. The UK does not, never has adopted anything even remotely close to the GDPR. Doesn't have it. They call it GDPR and they stuck UK on the end of it. GDPR was introduced by the EU and it was rejected by the UK, which, by the way, is another torpedo up your boat's ass that claimed we did not have independence or sovereignty. We didn't sign up to it. The one overriding principle, by the way, of GDPR, Nigel, which applied then rather, and still applies to EU member states, is that a citizen's personal data belongs to them and cannot be taken away from them. This means that if an EU citizen says they want their data deleted and do not want it spread like slurry on a field, they have that right. Okay? And no longer is it acceptable for that user have to navigate down through 24,000 lines to find the little box to untick so that they can't spread the data. They're not allowed away with that. If the company refuses, a EU company refuses to delete that data or has failed to secure that data correctly, that company is subject to two penalties. One being a fine from the state's own monitoring body, and the second is a personal fine that they may have to pay to the individual owners of the data. Now, it's my understanding, by the way, on this matter, that when the breach occurred in the Irish healthcare system, there will be, as a direct result of that, not just the fine from the state, not just those fines, but also compensation will have to be paid to the people whose data has been compromised. What Dowden is proposing is this, basically. UK companies own our ass. We need to shut up. And if we don't find the correct box to unclick that crap, those data firms will own it. They will be able to use it for whatever they wish, which basically allows them to take control of our data. And you, Farage, you think that's a good thing. You're a liar. You know better. You're a cheat. You know better than that. You're the biggest dickhead I've ever known to be inflicted upon any nation of people. Guys, this interview went on to discuss Brexit with Northern Ireland, Kate Hoey. Sorry, about Northern Ireland with Kate Hoey. But as Max has covered this on his channel in such a comprehensive manner, there's little that I can add to it than he hasn't already picked up. So I've left a link to that video in the description and suggest you take a look. Meanwhile, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, thanks for sharing it, thanks for your trust, and thank you for your support. And I'll see you on the flip side. You take care.